Hi, I'm Mike Clark with Paul Reed Smith Guitars, and I'm here with the HXDA amplifier. With a little bit that I was playing coming into it, you know, I would describe it as a very vintage organic tone. It's based on a couple of Holy Grail English amplifiers that we were able to get a hold of. And from the same era, the 60s, and one was used on a very high profile recording, and we reverse engineered them. And I will mention, as I mentioned in the earlier videos, that one of the real foundations of this is the Cinemag transformer that we use. And we had to go way outside the normal avenues to have this transformer produced. But you notice when I was playing this, and if I play it with a lot of bass, how it sags and really does like a vintage amp. And it really explains why people spend the kind of money they spend on a lot of these amplifiers. And what we're trying to do at Paul Reed Smith is to offer a modern alternative. And when we were looking at this, we really found the transformer to be the missing link. And as I mentioned in the earlier video, we went a lot of the traditional avenues, and we finally found a company that could take the measurements and do everything we needed that created the subtleties. And you know, guitar amps and guitar are about subtleties. It's those in-between tones. It's the thing that gets right up to a point, but just not quite there. And that's what we're trying to accomplish with this amplifier. I'll also mention that this amp is built in our custom amp and design factory at Paul Reed Smith. It was designed by Doug Sewell and Paul Smith, and it's kind of a hybrid. It is all hand wired. It's a hybrid in that it's a variation of a classic English design. And let's be honest, you know, people are basing amplifiers on a few foundations that have proven to the test of time in our industry. But what we're trying to do is not create a Me Too amplifier. And judging by the response from our artists, this amp has really done a great job. We've sent it out to the Allman brothers, and they just flipped over it, and it's become a solid part of their PRS amp arsenal. And David Grissom enjoyed it and is using one also. Davey Knowles has also used one. The thing that I like about this amplifier is it makes me play different. It makes me kind of slow down. You know, there's certain amplifiers you plug into and it makes you play 90 miles an hour, and you may feel like, well, I'm not saying anything, but it's the best way to get what I want out of the amplifier. This amplifier, and it's the same with guitars, when you get something that makes you just hold one note, well, I'm gonna hit a note here. That tone calls to mind Mick Taylor. You know, you think of, it's distorted, it's funky, it's boomy. It's all wrong, but it's all right. It's like it's just a whole different deal. And you think of an amplifier as a tool to create your painting. So it gives you the ability to seek out different things in your playing. And like I said, I find I play a different way. In fact, I've decided to put this thing in like a 2-amp setup for me. And I may go to it 2 or 3 times a night, but I know that what I get from this amplifier I can't get from anything else. And again, a lot of it has to do with that transformer and the way it responds like an old transformer. I'll show you the layout on this. It's very simple. It is a 2-channel amplifier, but instead of having to patch the channels like you may do up here, it is bridged internally. You have a treble, mid, bass control, a presence knob, and a master volume on here that works very well. When you run the master up, it is out of the circuit. There's 3 switches, and they go back and forth between HX and DA, and the voice of the switches is a little different. I'll hit an A chord, and I'll go back and forth. Let me, I'm gonna have to step over and take a look. Okay, so I'm going to hit it as now in the HX mode, and this is for the overall masters. Now I'll hit it on the DA. The focus becomes a little bit tighter and a little bit narrower. I'm going to move the next one. I'm going to put them all up on HX. It should open it wide up. Really cool, classic tones. Now I'm going to run it back to the DA setting. Very smooth. It's really a neat amplifier. You can get all kinds of stuff out of it, but it's really geared towards classic tones. You know, come into Wildwood or give Steve the guys a call and really talk to them about it. This is the HXDA amplifier. It's a modern version of a vintage classic.